with a little leaner.
Much has been made about the show LeBron puts out during games, but he also puts on a spectacle in his pregame routine. Last season, he and others started pulling out all the stops and dunking in the pregame warm-up in an effort to break a sweat.
Now here's LeBron after the miss from Joe Johnson. 5 to shoot. Unloads. Money from the wing. LeBron's got the game going with his first points of the game for the Heat.
Nice way for...
We talked about the strategy as it applies to D-Wade. He said Dwayne can score at will when he gets into a rhythm. So our job is going to be prevent him from getting into that rhythm in the first place. Because if we can't do that, the points will just pile up. Most opponents are completely aware of that, guys.
Thanks a lot, Doris. The Heat making a switch here. Battier's checked in. Well, when you think about the level that LeBron is playing at right now, Clark, do you think he still has room?
Burrow, Kevin, and looking to establish a new identity. And even if you aren't a big Nets fan, for Brooklynites, it's easy to throw on a black and white sweater or jersey with Brooklyn across the front of it.
Now, here is Battier. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard.
You know, Miami went to that smaller lineup last season, and a big change in that was having Chris Bosh move over to the 5 spot. Not his natural position, but I thought he held his own both offensively and defensively. The thing is, you could see them turn it on and turn it off when they needed to defensively, so they always managed to get the key stop when they needed it.
Nets trailed by 7. And we're now about a minute and a half into the second quarter. Out of bounds, Miami takes possession.
Such a careless pass. You've got to keep your head in the game here.
And a new group getting ready for Miami. And when you're coming off a title like the Heat are, there is...
You look at the Joe Johnson trade for the Nets. They picked up his max contract from the Hawks, committing $80 million over 4 years. But, you know, last season, his lowest point output in over a decade. A down season overall, but hey, there's a lot of talent on this team. He's not expected to score as much anymore.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Well, guys, the huge trade that really overshadowed this year's draft, the blockbuster deal between the Bucks.
High expectations, guys. They were the runaway pick to be the most improved team in the league, and ownership stressed that their goal was nothing less than a championship. They had a bumpy stretch at one point, steadied themselves, but still a third head coach now in the span of a year.
Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Miami. And when the coaching change was made for the Nets, a lot was made of some of the comments by Darren Williams. Steve admitting that he'd been more comfortable with the offense in Utah.
Well, which is kind of ironic because for him to lead his club, and I think that's what he's trying to do this year.
Ray Allen is on the wing. He's guarded by Johnson. And that'll be Miami as it goes out of bounds. The Heat retain possession. Brook Lopez is checked in for Andre Blarch. James in the post. Pierce covering. Gets it to go. 14 points for LeBron.
Late react. That's his range, and the defense nowhere to be seen.
Here's LeBron. And there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
The one-hand slam is so sweet when it's his hand doing the slam.
Oh, yeah, he is so smooth, even on a power finish like that.
Yeah, that's part of what makes him unique, that combination of power and polish.
Tries from the block, and the shot is good. And the Nets lead by 11.
They're going to